Good afternoon. Here is part 5 of my personal review of the Honda 2013 CRF250L Enduro. So far I've got nearly 700 miles on it. It's my review part 5. Finally got it in for my routine maintenance, the very first maintenance done. Fluid changes, filter changes, blah blah blah. Just a note for you guys out there, if you have a salesman that you can barter with, when you buy the bike, you're buying a brand new bike, try to get the first service free. Try to get that in writing right off the bat, because that shit is expensive. Fluid and filter and 2 hours of labor, it cost me $200 almost. But anyway, one thing I had to change is the tires. I complained about the tires before, and I just couldn't stand it anymore. And since Village Motorsports in Grand Rapids, Michigan had it in for the service, I told them, get me some nice tires on here. So what I went with was a Michelin T63 dual sport tire, front and rear, and this is the tread pattern. Notice they have an oscillating center lug. You have centered to the right, and centered, and to the left, back to centered, and repeat. Same thing with the outside, the outer lug. Here it's, let's see, there's a slot left to right, and a slot up and down, then another slot left to right, and it repeats up and down, left to right. Anyway, decent tread pattern, sitting next to the old bike's tire, so you can see a difference here. As for lug depth, for a little comparison, I have a standard Bic lighter, standard size you buy at a gas station. Sits right down in there pretty good. The head of the lighter, just past the metal on the lighter there. So anyway, just a little comparison. The lugs are a little bit bigger, they're spread farther apart, and they can keep you on top of sand at my weight of 260 plus pounds at approximately 23 miles an hour. You start floating pretty good. Whereas the old tires, I probably had to do 30 to stay on top of the sand. Here's the fronts. Once again, side-by-side comparison. The original ones. Now, granted, the ones on the bike, they look dirty. I just got back from a ride. Nothing irritates me more than people that do a review on a tire, but they don't even have it on the bike yet. How are you supposed to review it when you don't know what the hell you're talking about? So, granted, yeah, these look cleaner. That's because they were just sitting on a shelf for the last week. Anyway, same thing. There's fewer lugs farther apart. They also have the oscillating center tread pattern of left, middle, right, middle, left, middle, right, middle, and another oscillating outer pattern. Can't really see very well in the lighting here. There we go. So it works pretty good. I'm very happy with the tires. They're expensive as hell. I might note that if you can do your own work, please do. Order them online, like motorcyclesuperstore.com or motorsport.com or J&P Cycles, any of those websites. They're about $70, $75 per tire. I had it at a dealership, and I told them, go ahead and throw these tires on while you've got it. They ordered them for me. They charged me $105 per tire. That's a $35 markup. That's like 45% markup on tires, plus installation fee and balancing, blah blah blah. Yeah, do it yourself if you can, unless you've just got money to burn. If you got that much money to burn, maybe you would have bought a more expensive motorcycle. But anyway, I had a good friend of mine who's a professional suspension rebuilder ride this bike just yesterday with me. We traded bikes. He rides Husqvarnas, and he hopped on this, give me his opinion of it, and he says flat out the suspension is junk. From a professional standpoint, it's too soft, it's squishy, it's buttery, it just does not take whoops and moguls worth a damn. The bike doesn't have enough power to stay on top of the sand very efficiently. That's his opinion. He's a professional racer. Of course, he's used to top of the line, he's very picky about what he likes, and he builds his own suspension, so of course he doesn't like stock. To me, I agree that yes, I've bottomed out the front forks on this. I rode this weekend a really heavy single track, lots of whoops, barely big enough for a quad to get down it, and it's a really rough terrain. And I rode that thing. I rode the piss out of it running 25 miles an hour down the trail. And yeah, I bottom out the forks. When I get in whoops, it slows me down. The suspension is constantly compressing much farther than it needs to. In the aftermarket world, I see there's already springs and shocks and aftermarket stuff available for it. Being a new model, it just came out recently. It's hard to get new stuff, but finally Racetech's coming out there with some good stuff. So probably next year I might get into it. I'm just trying to ride it now and get her broke in pretty good. Like I said, I got about 700 miles on it so far. The comfort zone is what really gets me. I traded bikes with some guys this weekend. We were riding around each other's bikes and got opinions on everything. You know, 2-strokes, they're so much more powerful. The big 4-strokes, 450s and stuff, they've got a lot of torque, a lot of grunt, but they are not smooth like this thing. This thing purrs like a kitten. You have no arm pump because there's no vibration in the handlebars. It's fuel injected, so the throttle, you're not actually pulling a spring on a carburetor. You're just turning a little dial down on a fuel injection module. So it really has almost no throttle tension against your wrist. Works great. No, I mean it's amazing for that. And you want to sit down and cruise some back roads, some 2-tracks, that's great too. If you're a serious motocross rider, or if you're a serious back roads, hill climbing, crazy SOB, you won't like this bike. It's geared towards the first riders, the people that want their first dirt bike, or they want something affordable. $4,500 gets you out the door with a $5,250 with tax, $4,500 US dollar sticker price, gets you a brand new motorcycle. So hard to beat it. But like I said, I got new tires on it. First service was about $200. The tires, all in all, were another $300 with tires and also mounting, balancing, etc. That was a $500 bill. So try to get your first service free if you have a good salesman that will work with you on that. The mirrors, I noticed I took the mirrors off. I wrecked it about 3 weeks ago. I hit some snow on a trail in northern Michigan, and I put it down pretty hard. It actually did not break the mirror. It did not hurt the mount. It just hurt my pride, basically. But I took them off because it's just a 9/16 wrench. Zip the mirror off and go on the trails, and then you're not worried about hitting trees with it, or if you do go down, breaking your expensive ass. I don't know how expensive they are, but I'm sure they're not cheap. So I didn't want to risk it. I'm not riding any roads where I legally don't have to have a mirror, so I just took it off. Threw it in the back of my car. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to leave it here on the page. And good riding, guys. Thanks.